everyone. Coach Sullivan here again from MJS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to non-subscribers, I'm really hoping I can tease you into pushing the button. Completed my 38th year coaching football. I was a defensive coordinator, but over that time I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, what I'd like to talk to you about is our 3-4, what we call exit versus an empty set, okay? And this is a 5-man box with man free and a mirror. That means we have somebody mirroring the quarterback, okay? So 5-man box, man free coverage with a mirror, somebody mirroring the quarterback, okay? So as you'll see, it's pretty versatile. So over here, I've got the key terms that relate to exit. And then over here, I have it versus essentially the two types of, empty formations that we see. And that's how we classify an empty formation. It could be with any and all different kinds of personnel groupings and so forth. But essentially, it comes down to these two, with obvious derivations to each. So let's start over here with the key terms. The first key term, of course, is exit. Exit is one of our what we call AFCs, automatic front and cover versus empty. Okay, so whatever the call is, when the players scream, exit, 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 that overrides the call. Okay, that's what's meant by an AFC, automatic front and cover. Okay? So the front is what we call 58, which means we have a 5, a 0, and a 5 technique. So both defensive ends are in a 5 outside shade. The nose stays 0 shade or head up on the center. All right, and the other part of the front are 2 inside linebackers. Both of them are what we call B split on the guard, which makes them 31 techniques, B gap defenders in the run. Okay, which obviously is minimal given that it's empty. Number 2, how do we line up our outside linebackers and our defensive backs, right? And so before I go any further, I'm assuming that the offense lines right up in empty. Okay, so this isn't a shift situation. The offense, whether it's huddle or no huddle, doesn't matter, but they line up immediately in empty. Okay, that's the premise I'm coming from here. How we line up in exit, should they shift to it, a motion to it, that's going to be built into the presentation. So the rover and the dime are 2 outside linebackers, okay? They automatically is what we call overhang. They go to the 3 and what I say is plus receiver side. So that would mean, of course, if there's a 4-by-1 formation, both outside linebackers go to the 4 receiver side. Okay, it's what we call automatic overhang, which is part of our base package, which non-subscribers, push that button. So therefore, the whip, our weak safety, rotates over number 2 on the weak side, which means 2 or less receiver side, right? The opposite. So in a 3-by-2, the whip goes to the 2 receivers. In a 4-by-1, the whip goes, to the 4 receiver side. Okay, that's how I should have said it. Okay? I'm probably one of the few people that when elementary school, like I was borderline getting a passing grade in penmanship. Oh, yeah. Back in the day, we used to get graded on that. So I apologize ahead of time, and every time my handwriting stinks. And the free safety, the one who always goes to the pass strength, gets 20 yards deep, middle of the field, they line up right over the football. When the ball's on the hash, they line right up on the post, which is the part that goes directly into the ground. That is dead center, middle of the field. Okay? So that's how we line up everybody else. So then number 3, what do we do if the wide receiver motions, right? Well, I'm going to show you that in the diagram, but what we do is we just rotate, which is the safety and 1 other defender. They just rotate. 2 people. That's it. Pretty easy. Like, non-subscribers, push the button, but in our rotate tag, that's all that happens. And so we carry that over into our exit AFC. Okay? Number 4, what do we do if this is the situation, the running back motions to empty? Again, same thing. The safeties adjust. It's rotate. And that's how we present it to our players when we get to that part of spring or preseason install. All that base stuff's already been inserted and worked on it. So our kids, we just tell them, all right, now we're going to apply. It's an automatic rotate when we're in exit, and the players know. Okay? All right. So then the 5th and final key term here is, well, why exit? Well, because it's a 5-man box with man-free coverage and a mirror and a quarterback, it's good versus both run and pass. So if there's an athletic quarterback, exit's good, right? We can be run our base plug package out of it. So our inside linebackers, we have all kinds of different plug blitzes, singular and doubles. We can run them all when we're executing an exit, okay? Which makes it cool. We have a key rush that's built in to just the plain old based exit. And I'm going to show that to you when I get to the diagram very shortly. And then the other reason, because it's part of our base package, it's easy to teach and it's easy to adjust. Right? 58's a base front. The rotate concept's a base concept, right? How we line up, it's our base rules for the outside linebackers. It's our base rules for the secondary. That's why it's easy to teach, easy to adjust, and that's why we install exit first out of our empty AFCs, okay? So again, an empty AFC, automatic front and coverage, is an adjustment. It's when we're not necessarily expecting empty unless, like Coast Guard Academy back in 2016 had 0-0 personnel, no backs, no tight ends, and 5 wide receivers. That became 0-0E, empty. Okay? So let's get over here now to the diagram portion of things. Okay, so up top we have what we call Toledo Empty. It's 5 wide receivers, no tight ends, no running backs, okay? Or it's an 11 personnel, but the tight ends split out, obviously, or there is 2 backs in the game, but both backs are acting as wide receivers. Either way, in the formation, there are 5 wide receivers, 3 and 2. And on the bottom, we have what we call Texas Empty. There is an actual tight end in the formation with 4 wide receivers, and again, it's 3 by 2. So I will show you the 4 by 1 in both as part of the presentation, okay? So here is our 58 front, okay? So B split, the inside linebackers have their inside toe on the guard's outside toe. That's what puts them in a B split, okay? And the 31 technique, again, not that there's a whole lot of run threat. They have the B gap, right? 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, okay? Man free, these guys aren't playing hot. They're playing man coverage technique. So both corners have number 1. Right now they're an off technique, and I'll get to that in a second. And the outside linebackers, if it's 3 by 2 left, so this would technically be a Liz. Okay, the outside linebackers would go left, so safety, the free would be making screaming, exit, exit, Liz, exit, Liz, exit, Liz. And that's how everybody gets lined up and knows what's happening. Okay. And as that's going on, you'd be screaming, Toledo, Toledo, Toledo. They don't have to say empty. Exit took care of that. So what would happen is, since it's a Liz, the rover comes over, all right? Because he hears Toledo. Non-subscribers, push that button. That's an even formation. So the backer's on the left, Mike's on the right. Okay, since it's Liz, that's why the field corner's there, the boundary's over there. Okay, so the rover would have 3, the dime would have 2. They are going to stagger. So the rover would line up on the heels of the defensive end, and the dime would be roughly a yard deeper, so they couldn't get picked off, rubbed. Okay, and obviously the spacing of 2 or 3 would have something to do with that. On the snap of the football, okay, they're playing off man. Both corners stem inside because it is pure man. It's not zone man technique, right? It's not a zone blitz coverage. We can also make it a part of the game plan that week. That's going to be exit. The corners are being pressed. I just have them drawn up and off right now. I'll take care of that more down here on the bottom. Here is, of the outside linebackers and the DBs, the only zone defender, the free safety in the middle of the field, reading the quarterback, scanning, head on a swivel, deepest on the field, without a doubt. The whip, okay, aligns again on the heels, similar to the rover of the defensive end. Inside leverage on number 2. That's his world. It's his pure man technique, right? Man free. So the mirror inside linebacker is the linebacker on the passing hand of the quarterback. So on a right-handed quarterback, it would be the left inside linebacker. The inside linebacker opposite the quarterback's throwing hand. So if it's right-hander, the inside linebacker on the right is going to what we call key rush. So let's just assume that it's a pass. Defensive ends speed rush and have what we call outside cage, right? The nose guard is going to rush the A gap on the side of the quarterback's passing hand. So a righty, he's going to rush on the left. And then they already know this per the game plan and the practice. Okay? On the snap, the mirror linebacker sees its pass, works to get in a relationship right in front of the quarterback. He's essentially spying the quarterback. We use the term mirror because we literally want, as the quarterback's looking down the field, we want him to see the linebacker right across from him, as if he's looking at him in a mirror. But yes, that is the spy technique. So then what the key rush linebacker does is he reads the guard when the guard tells him what he's going to do in protection. So let's just say he's fanning at the B gap. He is going to add to the rush into the A gap. He's going to go butt side of the guard. So in exit, on a pass, it's a 4-man rush. Okay, so that's what I meant when I said key rush is built in. Okay? And so that's how exit works. And so as an example, if number 3, and I'll just do it once, if number 3 were, I'm not going to erase everything else, so apologize, okay? In red, if number 3 were to motion across before the snap of the football, this is how we handle the wide receiver motion, right? Free safety rotates down. The rover would rotate back, right? Free safety, one other defender. It's the defender whose man motions. Right? That's it. Boom, done. So now down here, okay? Similar, except now I'm going to put the corners in press. Okay, so the game plan is we're going to be in press. So to make sure they don't get off sides, we tell the corner whose man is off the ball to line up your feet even with your defensive ends. So you're on side. But you got them. Over here, we say check with the line judge. He'll tell you whether or not you're off sides. So there it is, right? Now, purposefully, this is going to be a Liz as well. But now I have a different-handed quarterback. I have a left-handed quarterback. Okay, now, see, the rules change. With a tight end in the formation, again, you're going to get an exit call, which everybody knows that it's empty. Exit, exit, Liz, Liz, Liz. And you'll say Texas, Texas, Texas. So now these guys are looking for the tight end. They know the number, they're right, and they see he's in the formation. So Rover and Mike go to the tight end. Backer goes away. Dime goes to, right? 3 receiver side, even if one of them is a tight end. Right? See, this is, again, it's all part of our base rules. That's why it's Easy to teach and adjust. These are the reasons why we like to teach exit first. Okay? So he's in a 9 technique. There's the difference. He's got the tight end. Everybody else aligns the same in exit. There's our 58 front. Now with a left-handed quarterback, he's the mirror, right? So now on the snap of the ball, he's working to get in that mirror so he can spy the quarterback. Again, let's just say for the sake of discussion, that's the protection because up here, right, he rushed that A gap. So now this guy's looking to help with the nose. So now the key rush guy is going to blitz the B gap. He's going to let the guard set his protection, and then he's going to rush the gap, right? That's the automatic. Again, there he is, right? Reading middle of the field. Okay, so now the nose is up into that A gap. Again, they're still speed rushing. I'm just not going to draw them up there so I can do this with you. So again, same deal. If he were to motion before the snap, free safety, and in this case, the other defender happens to be the other safety, there's the rotate. If prior to the snap, they went into a 4-by-1. So now it's 3 wide right, 4. Now the whip would be over here. I'm going to do them in black, sorry, instead of green. And now it would be a full tag right in the middle. Texas full. Because now it's 4-by-1. And there's the difference. So now the whip would be on the heels of the rover. The dime would be behind the whip, and he's in press. So they're all at different levels. And again, the spacing of 1, 2, and 3 would indicate whether or not there's going to be a rub going on. But we just want our guys to be in that habit. So the one time where they are close and we're not staggered, boom, we get picked off right in a rub. So that's how the 4-by-1 would look. Okay, and then consequently, if he started there and he motioned, the free safety and the one other defender, who again, this time it's the whip, they just rotate, they make the adjustment. Okay? So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I hope I've teased you just enough. But to everybody, please, any questions, reach out to me, CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com, especially if you have a question about the running back motion. That would necessitate a whole other either diagram, or I'd have me waste a lot of time erasing and show you, but I'd be happy to go over with you if you give me an email. Okay? And I also like to thank YouTube for providing this platform, because it's a great thing for football coaches to help each other out.